All right, so it is late at night. I just finished my last coat, used my last bottle of Bedliner. Kind of sucks because I can feel a little more in there, but I couldn't really get it. I think they all have, yeah, just a teeny bit in there. That man, I wish I could really like scrape that little last bit out. But it looks good. It looks really good. I'm very happy. You know, this was. I'll look back and I don't know yet if this is 5 or 6 days of work now, but it was a process. I'm going to be putting a guide together once this is all over on how to do it. You know, all the steps I learned, advice, stuff like that. But just for these going on with the updates here for the Jeep, which doesn't even feel like it feels like a whole other project because I haven't been looking at the Jeep much. I've been looking at the tub so much. And this was a big project, but this was a big. I mean, look at this. This this doesn't look anything. I wouldn't recognize this. Like if you showed me a picture of this and told me this was my Jeep, I wouldn't believe you because this doesn't look like it. But this is what I was going for. This is exactly what I wanted. I mean, this stuff is going to be awesome. And look, you can barely tell that patch is there. That one is the most evident one, and all the other ones really blended in fairly well as you could hope. I could have sanded them all down a bit better, but I was worried about like the middle one there and that one popping out. But for the most part, I mean, if you just glance at it, you don't really notice, and it doesn't matter because it just doesn't. You know, it's not about looking pretty. It's not a sports car. But I finished the last coat here, and that last bottle, it seemed to go a long way, and at the same time, didn't seem to have just enough at all. If you're gonna do this for a Jeep tub, I recommend getting the correct package. Or if you get the tinted and you want black somehow, you like me, you order the wrong one. Get that mixing ratio. It's not too hard to do. But if I had used all 4 bottles here, I think this would have been a thicker coat of black, and I don't think I would have had the problem of I wouldn't say this is a problem. What I decided was I started going. I started up in here like I wanted to, and I got up there pretty good. I got up there real good, actually. I'm very happy with that. But I started going, and I realized with some of the spots that kept cropping up, I was like, you know what? I am not going to be able to get every inch of this to 100% perfect. And when I say perfect, I mean like if you look over here, you can see a little bit of yellow there. That's really not the end of the world. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this again, it's like, boy, if I order 2 more bottles to do any touch-up that I might miss on the inside, I might as well hit the outside. Because the inside, that's easy to do. I can just, tape off, do a lazy tape off on the door, and just open up the inside here, and no problem. This, though, taping off all of this took hours. So I was like, you know what, let's save myself the trouble. And I used the most amount anywhere around the outside. That took a lot of effort. Anywhere around the ridges around here, the whole tailgate here. Anywhere that the taping, you can see where the masking took forever. All around here, this took hours to do. I was like, you know what, I'm going to use the most there. So the ridges, everything on the outside that took so long to tape is good. I'm 100% happy and satisfied with that. There were some areas, I'm going to flip this on my own to see it. But yeah, there's, you can kind of tell there's like an area up there where it was very, very difficult to reach. I started to tip the gun and it was dripping out. It was better to kind of tip it on its right side, to the right as opposed to the left because the hole was actually on the left. But it did make things a little difficult to spray, but it was doable. So if you did it kind of quick, kind of did those little kind of squirts as opposed to a full-on spray, it actually did work out very nicely. I had a little couple of, like I had here, drips. Drips aren't too bad. From what I could tell, all the drips have actually really even come together really good. Anywhere I had really big ones, I was able to kind of pick out, which is kind of interesting because it kind of gels almost. Here I had a little incident where I had a piece of plastic down so I could be here in the 3rd coat. The last coat I did before this final coat, I guess, wasn't quite dry enough, so it kind of didn't peel up the stuff, but it brought down some of the pieces of plastic. But mostly you can't even tell anymore. I don't think you're really going to be able to tell. A little spot there. And there are some spots. There are some spots, up here where it was... Even that, look how good of coverage I pretty much got. Like, that was not easy to get up there. The spots over there, that was extremely difficult. That took... Because, at the same time you're doing this, like, I was dripping with sweat. I'm wearing, like, full gear, so, I'm not... it's not... my breath is, like, coming up into my glasses, and the safety glasses are fogging, and it becomes harder and harder to see. But getting up there was extremely difficult. You can see I missed a little spot there. I'm gonna be staring at that. But for the most part, I mean, look at this. This is a transformation here. This is huge, and I'm dead happy. This is the end of my week off. It's been interesting. I woke up every morning just to come out to work on the Jeep, and that was quite a vacation. I gotta tell you, I haven't had a vacation like that where I go to bed working on my Jeep, wake up working the Jeep the next morning, working it the whole day. All of a sudden it's lunchtime, then all of a sudden it's dark out. It's really rewarding. So. Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about doing this, if you're watching this and thinking about doing it yourself, this is very much worth it. If you love your Jeep, if you're into this kind of stuff, This was not only maybe you're not so big into work, but I like doing work like this. This is the kind of work I enjoy, and I gotta tell you, I enjoyed it. And even if you don't enjoy it, but you like what you're looking at, it's completely worth it. Getting this stuff, you got to get a lot of things together. It takes a lot of prep to do it the correct way, and I would recommend doing it the correct way. But once you do, you feel really good about it. So yeah, I'm just mulling over now that I'm completely done. I mean, I'm out. If I had to give a suggestion, and again, I'll make a video to compilate all this into organized thoughts, but I would recommend getting probably one more bottle. I think I would, just because I feel like if I had one more bottle right now, I could definitely let this dry overnight, come back tomorrow, and hit any of the bigger areas. Plus, you can see, if you look really closely, I don't think you can really see on the camera, but I can see a little bit of yellow shining through the bigger areas. The floor here I hit pretty good, but this on the sides here I can see the yellow shining through just a tad. But no, this is excellent. This is amazing. This is great. I'm very tired. It's been a long process, but to see this, it's completely worth it. It's so nice. I'm a little lost for words. Let's not make this emotional, but no, really, this is good stuff. I'm just, again, I'm just looking over my work now that it's done. It's kind of like you've been working on a project, your whole life, which I'm exaggerating, hasn't been my whole life, but you've been working on a project for a while, then all of a sudden it's done. So yeah, I'd get a couple more bottles. I definitely do all the prep work, everything I've said in the past videos. This came out good though. I'm very happy with it. I'm very pleased. I'm proud. And yeah, so I think it's gonna be a good place to stop right here. I'm definitely going to be putting together some other videos to, all this stuff I've been doing. I did a lot of stuff here, all the what you would need, how you should do it, my experiences, is all going to be stuff. But as for now, this has been a long road for these Bedliner days, these Bedliner updates, and it's all done now for the most part. I will come back, and like I said, I did the outside, so I don't have to worry about that. I can always come back another day and do the inside, which is much easier because I don't have to tape off anything. But yeah, this is where I'm going to stop this for now. This is a beautiful job. I would call this a job well done. Feel very satisfied about this. And I couldn't be happier. Check that out. Alright, so I went and took off all of the masking tape. I'm pretty sure the instructions tell you to, I think it said somewhere, I read somewhere, or at least on their site or something, it said 10 to 15 minutes or so after the last coat to start removing the tape. I had already left it like a one coat on overnight, and I figured, well, whatever, I'm just going to leave the coat from last night on. I finished so late last night that I was just going to leave the all the tape on and stuff, so that's what I did. And this morning it came out, and I started to take it all off slowly. Now, everything came out good. I mean, really, considering the problem I had right away with the first coat, and, everything, it was a big project. This is a big undertaking. This wasn't something small. And this is the biggest project I've ever done myself, especially on I mean, I can't think of a time I worked so hard on something like this, and especially on my Jeep. Definitely nothing I've done even comes close to comparing to this. But everything came out pretty good. You can see. I think I like how the other side came out a little bit better than this side. But what I was trying to go here for was kind of a curve. I really don't like boxy stuff or square stuff unless it looks very uniform, and I'm a perfectionist, in case you haven't noticed. I don't always get things perfect, and I can live with myself like that. I'm not one of those guys who has to have it perfect, otherwise I can't function. But I really try to aim for perfection. So this kind of came out a little I actually had a little piece stick out here as I was pulling the tape up, which I was going very slow, pulling down as it went. Now I did stop here because I've heard if you close the door and you have it all the way to the edge here, like where the edge meets right here, that would have been good to cover this up, especially cover this up. And I might do that in the future. What I figured was I can always add more, but what I can't do is it would be very difficult to take back. Like if I decided oh, I didn't like it up to here, now how I'm gonna cut it off to here? It's not gonna work. But I can always, if I find I don't like this, I can always tape it off to here and then do the last little bit here I missed. So that's always a possibility, and I will be doing this again at some point because somewhere this is about the worst thing that that came out in my opinion was the door strikers, because I'd taken these off and I tried to do these very, very well, and unfortunately this didn't come out too well the way I taped it. Also, where this was, I knew this would be a problem because unlike everybody else, I didn't have the ability to remove my cable, and if I move that cord down a little bit, you'll see that there's kind of smudge spot there, and I don't really like that. And the only other spot that came out bad was not bad, I'd say, but the top here, the tailgate kind of got hit, not quite the way I wanted it. and kind of the edge here, a little bit. And I could nitpick all day. I could say, I could like, if you have a hard top here, this isn't gonna matter. But I can see this little teeny yellow piece here. I'm like, ugh. And then if you want to nitpick even more, there are some spots that didn't quite get enough of a coat, and that's just because I ran out. But for the most part, everything looks good. I mean, when you look at this looks awesome. I mean, there's no arguing with that. This looks awesome. I was looking at pictures this morning because I don't even recognize it anymore. Just of before when it had like, oh, there was all the POR 15 there was black, and then it was this crappy like cheddar orange, yellow kind of color, and then there was like the regular stock yellow, and then so it just and all the holes and the metal pieces I had here, everything just looks, it just glides into one another. You're like, yeah, you can see this, and I probably could have sanded this down a little bit more, but like I said, that was days and days of work. I've never done something like that before, so I'm very happy with the way it came out. Is it the best possible job it could be? No, but this Jeep, none of this was ever meant to be perfection. Now, out of everything I used between the earplugs, which these were the best. The earplugs were, I honestly got the best. They anywhere where I had the earplugs in, it came out pretty darn good. I mean, obviously I missed a little spot like that up there because it was just kind of hard. Like I said, tilting was kind of difficult. There is one spot of glob up in the front, and like I said, I'm a perfectionist, so I already know where every little omission and mistake I made is, and I could point it out to you one after another. But if you were just a passerby or even just like checking this out, just looking at it to see if you want to do this yourself or something like this, or just checking it out, it looks great. It looks awesome. The most of the newspaper did come out good. There were a few spots with the newspaper, like I think here's going to be a tough one because yeah, it's kind of what you can see is it's kind of pulling up some of the bed liner, and this is the only one I haven't taken out yet because I wanted to wait to show this because this one looked like the worst one I did. It was a little too out there, so you can see it pulled up some of the bed liner on the side there to the right and a little bit underneath where I didn't quite get it. So that stinks. I mean, yeah, and then you got to remember stuff like if you look up here where I'd already pulled off the tape for the handbrake and that, that's going to be covered with the center console. This whole section here, center console is going to cover that. You're not going to see that. And right here where you can see the holes there, I mean, you're not going to see that either, where it's going to cover, the seat's going to cover that. That's why I'm kind of a little sad, even though the door's going to be closed here, the majority of the time. That's kind of a bummer for that. But I will redo this someday. There are spots, back there where I could not get. I ran out, You can see a yellow shining through right there. And there are just some spots where it didn't get quite enough of a coat, so you can see it coming through. But like I said, I got the biggest stuff, the outline, which was the most important thing to do. So I did that. This is also where I was kind of like, man, you're gonna be able to see this all the time. I guess I'd recommend almost doing this if you're not worried about getting to the inside of this, or maybe pulling this up. I'm not exactly sure what this looks like under here. I've never taken off the cover to this. I know it's all the mechanism for the door latch, but maybe you could just get it up here and then tape off as much as possible. And when you put the cover back on, just like with the front, when you put this back on, even if there was even if this line was here and then I had a cover that just goes over it, you'd never know. Which is kind of half the game when you're doing something like this. But no, this looks great. I'm just doing some, after spray, afterthoughts. Like, yeah, I didn't really get up there too good, but I will be doing this again at some point. The other side, actually, I got much more on. Like I said, it was hard to tilt, and you can see kind of like the blob here. If you can, it's pretty dark now. But this came out good. This, like I said, I think, yeah, I kind of like how this side came out a little bit more. I think it was this. Yeah, no, they're pretty good for the most part, both of them. But it says to give it a while to dry. I'm going to give it as long as I possibly can. But no, everything else came out good. I mean, this came out very smooth. The whole thing feels really great. Yeah, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm very accomplished. I feel good about this. Like I said, I'm a perfectionist, so it's kind of like I got things that are just like, oh, I could have done better here. I know I could have done better there. But for the most part, it's really good. Like I said, I'll be doing a video to actually, like a couple videos to kind of go over what I did, what tips I found, things I used. And also here was one of the trickier spots because I really wanted these covered up. And then you kind of see this. So eventually someday I'm really going to come back here. I'd recommend, taking your time. Like, if you think you can do this in a week, take 2 weeks to do it. If you think you can do it in 3 days, take, 6 days to do it. And then another day, just so you're sure. They do recommend giving this 7 days to cure, but it'd be really awesome if they made, like, this is truck bed liner, but I've seen, it's getting more and more popular where guys do this inside of Jeeps or inside of other vehicles for that matter. And they should make like an all-purpose one, or like a Jeep bed kit, something like that, and give you the right amount for a Jeep tub, give you instructions on what to do, all that kind of stuff. But just so I don't go rambling on here, because this has been good. This has been a lot of fun. This has been really good. But this is going to be the end to stuff with as far as keeping up with the TJ updates. This is going to be the end for most of the Bedliner. I'll keep going with it. You're obviously going to see it as I go along and start doing more things. But it's just crazy because I'd planned to do this almost since I picked this thing up almost a year ago, and I got this stuff. I've been planning for months, getting ready to do this, and it's finally done. So it's kind of crazy, really. I'm gonna have to come back and do some touch up at some point and go over it more then. But no, this is really good. I really like this. So I think that's what I'm going to end it off for now. Like I said, I'll be doing other videos on how to do it, my experiences with it, a review on it, everything you could imagine. But for now, I'm going to end things off here. This has been a crazy, wacky, week-long project. It's been a lot of fun. It's very much worth it. I recommend doing it yourself if you look at this and like this at all. This is great. I really do like this. So that's going to be the end for this for now. I don't know what we'll bring next. As far as keeping up with this, I got to get the fender flares back on today, fix all that. At least get the front ones back on. They're all painted. Oh, and one other thing. Make sure when you're spraying this stuff out, like when you're inside the tub and you're spraying out, make sure nothing's in the way that you're going to care about, because I actually did get a little bit of it on my seats. So now I got to kind of scratch to get all that off there. But yeah, that'll be part of the tips. I'll have a whole list of tips, experience, all that stuff. But for now, I'm going to be putting this thing back together slowly. And until the next one.